He's going to have to crank a lot of ground units to break through that. So Bisu going for a third expansion as well at that bridged expansion to the southwest of his main there. It looked like he was bringing a few ground forces over there, probably just to protect against vulture harasses and such. He does have his first arbiter out, and it looks like he's cranking from 5. It's going to be 5 or 6 gateways here. And so continuing to keep that economic advantage, although it looks like Terran does have his second expansion up as well. So he's keeping it pretty close. I mean, economically, the Protoss does need to, in theory, keep more bases harvesting, so they may be actually pretty close on equivalent unit production, and we'll see kind of what happens there. So he's bringing that arbiter down by itself, and I guess Bisu's got kind of a recall strategy in mind. Again, I haven't really seen his full ground force, if he's got that all bunched up somewhere. Looks like he's got about 12 goons right there. Maybe his plan here is to just recall those all in the middle of Flash's base, and I think we're going to see real soon because that arbiter is just chilling by itself. He's also just kind of scouting with it here too to see if Flash has taken either of those bases along the southwestern edge of the map, which it looks like he hasn't. So he will see that with his arbiter, and I'm not sure if he's going to march that into his base and try to recall all that stuff in there, but we'll see that shortly. Meanwhile, back at Flash's base, looks like he's putting up a bunch of turrets to try and circumvent that arbiter recall. So I think he might have spotted that arbiter somehow. Definitely doesn't want that action in his base. So he's like, no thanks. So Bisu continuing to crank ground units, and it looks like he's rallied a pretty strong group outside of the kind of the ground defense area of Flash. Not going to be enough melee units to break through that defense. It looks like maybe with the arbiter helping, but that's just a lot of tanks. And I haven't seen what the upgrades look like from both sides, but upgraded tanks just tear through this stuff so much. I don't know what Bisu's plan here is going to be. Does have a pretty strong force. It looks like between 12 and 24 zealots right there, and then we've already seen at least 12 goons. So the arbiter coming through a gap in the defense of Flash here, and he gets a recall off at that second expansion of Flash. So great move by Bisu here, and I don't know if I just called Bisu Flash, but he does lose his arbiter. But there's a lot of defense in here by Flash. So we're gonna see if Bisu is gonna be able to take out that command center. I don't think he is here. And again, this is where you're gonna see that bridge coming in handy, because anything Flash parks behind there is gonna be really hard for Bisu to kill. So I think Flash is gonna be able to defend that, and I don't know if that drop was actually worth it for Bisu or not. It was a good distraction, and I didn't see how many SCVs he got there. So he may slow Flash's harvesting a little bit, but he also sacrificed 12 or 16 or something units there. So I'm not sure if that was a worth it trade-off. At the same time, he does have tons of ground forces already being built to reinforce those back up at his main. So may have been worth it. Flash continuing to just build out right outside of his base, and it looks like that expansion is still harvesting. I can't tell if he's taking another one or not, but it looks like Bisu's continuing to scout those to make sure Flash isn't catching up on resources. And Bisu's also looks like he's taking the upper right-hand corner now as well, so that's going to be a total of 5 bases harvesting. So he's going to have really strong unit production, considering he's going to be 2 bases ahead of Flash, it looks like, if he's able to get those all up and running. Flash does have a super solid defense at his sort of front door. He's sort of expanded it out. You can see that big green clumps almost toward the middle of the map, just south of the middle of the map there. And Bisu going for another recall here, but again, I don't know about the recall strategy here, because the command center is still up, and he's going to probably lose that arbiter there. He is putting a big dent in the harvesting of Flash though, and I think considering the fact that he has so many more, it looks like he's building a sixth base on that western edge now. Considering he has so many more resources than Flash, I think even stopping the harvesting of Flash just for temporarily, like he's done here, may actually be worth the sacrifice of the 12 or so units that he recalled in there. So maybe actually a smart move by Bisu, as he's able to replenish his units much more quickly and easily than Flash is right now with this much money coming in. So strong ground force, and it looks like we're going to see a pretty relevant battle here as Flash goes on the offense. Looks like he's headed up toward that wide ramp expansion of Bisu, and Bisu sees it and wants to bring his melee units over to head that off, but he's actually sending them sort of. I don't know what he's doing. You can see that little purple blob moving back and forth there in the middle of the map. It looks like he's going around and he's going to try to go front door on Flash's base. Oh, no, he backs him up and he decides to come back and use them for defense instead. He sees that Flash is going offense on that ramped expansion, and he was going to want to try to defend that here. But his ground force isn't moving, so I'm not sure if he's. Oh, okay, he's ignoring it, and he's going to go for another recall. Oh, another recall. As his Arbiter goes down, he recalls a whole bunch of ground forces into the natural expansion of Flash. And let's see if Flash has enough left at his base to defend this. Bisu basically abandoned the expansion of his own and said, you know, if I can get one of his bases, I'm still at a big economic advantage here. So it looks like that is going to be pretty effective at that natural expansion, as Flash has already moved a lot of his defensive units out. In the meantime, the other half of Bisu's ground forces are here to defend against the offensive Flash. I don't know if this is going to be enough or not. A great stasis, got 5 or 6 tanks, it looks like there. Well, about 4 tanks. And was that a science vessel that he stasised? So taking those out of the equation, but I still see a big blob of green there in the middle that that Bisu wasn't able to take out, and more reinforcements coming in means of by means of vultures there. So this recall at Flash's natural expansion looks like it was sort of a failure. I like the fact that he went in there while he knew Flash was on the offense with most of his tanks, but at the same time, again, he wasn't able to take out the command center or the SCVs there. So pretty tight game. But what I like about Bisu's position here is you can see all the blue dots on the map there and all over the top half. He's basically got every expansion in the top half. He did lose that one expansion while he was trying to take out Flash's natural, but he's just harvesting so much right now. It seems like he's going to be able to crank enough ground forces to overwhelm this offensive Flash. So I'm continuing to watch this here, and Flash does have a tank wall going up right outside of those two bridges that we talked about early game, and this other expansion over here, the other bridge expansion that we talked about, is going to be hard for Bisu to defend as well, because again, between that bridge and sort of the choke points and ramps on this map, the siege tanks are really going to be dominant. So Bisu doing a good job of stasising almost every unit here, but he's kind of getting attacked at two fronts, 2 expansions at one time here. So if Flash is going to be able to take down these expansions, he's going to actually put himself back in an economic advantage. Bisu trying to defend with wave after wave of ground forces here, but with the tanks and the vultures, it looks like by the way, it looks like Bisu's. Gosh, I feel like I keep saying the names wrong, but talking about Bisu right now, looks like Bisu's ground units are 102 on the upgrades. I didn't see what Flash's ground units were. I'll take a look next time. But Bisu, meanwhile, sending in a few Dark Templars for the harass in the meantime. It looks like Bisu may lose both of these expansions here. These Dark Templars aren't going to do much good. They were scanned by Flash, and they're going to be taken out before they're able to do much damage. Interesting thought. He just keeps on going. He just keeps pushing the pressure while Flash is on the offense here. But it does look like Flash is going to probably be able to get both of these bases. However, BC does have another sizable ground force, so he is producing out of quite a few gates here. And with the Arbiter, it looks like these are proving effective, and he may save one or both of these bases. Let's see if he's able to save. I couldn't tell if that Nexus is still there. I think both of the Nexuses did survive, but Flash with another wave of reinforcements, which is going to go down here, it looks like, as Bisu's got wave after wave of goons coming out to reinforce what's dying here. So, oh man, those mines are just tearing up the ground forces, but not enough reinforcements by Flash here, and with some great stasises, Bisu is able to take out all of that offense by Flash. Now Flash is going to be in a lot of trouble because I don't think he got either of the Nexuses there on the left-hand edge. So Bisu, if I'm counting the map right, still has 6 harvesting bases if his main isn't mined out, which is going to, again, give him so many more minerals, because I think Flash still only has 2 to 3 harvesting bases. It looks like his main is mined out. It's hard to tell based on the mini maps alone, but I know BC is definitely harvesting significantly more minerals than Flash right now. Um, and you could tell by the rate that Bisu was reinforcing his ground units that he's cranking out of way more buildings at the same time. So it looks like he's going for another dirty recall in in the base of Flash, but Flash says rejected and shoots it down with his Goliaths there. So that Arbiter is not able to make it in, and he's going to go harass the expansion of Bisu on the south, or I guess that's kind of just the western edge again. He's coming in from a different angle this time, where the only access is over this bridge, and this is one of the wider bridges on the map. So Bisu's going to be able to get more ground units over, and with another great stasis, takes out a couple units from the equation, which is going to be enough to bring his ground forces over here. And we get a GG by Flash. He knows that Bisu is at too much of a financial advantage here. Great game by both. Thanks everybody for watching.